Ladies and gentlemen, has the most controversial figure in wrestling history turned into the most maybe uncontroversial? I'll talk about that here. And maybe, just maybe, our guest on a platform that's really his home, despite what he's wanted, does he have any idea what he's getting into? We're going to talk about all of that here and some because we've got plenty of all out warfare to get into here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters here, Sportswire Radio. And while he may be the 2025 Rumble in the Wreck winner, did he get what he asked for? And is he, in his words, going to be the next IMF world champion? And what about the House of Wolves and the house always wins? And, well, what about also what he said after his historic victory in the All Out War match? That the House of Wolves are about the House of Greed, and he's talked about Omen Black, and I don't even know what our guest is thinking. He always has something to say and something to think about, but after all these last few weeks and last few months, as I stated, he may not even be the most controversial figure in wrestling history anymore. As a matter of fact, maybe he's the least controversial, considering all these different events. And I've got to start off with something completely different to start the show off here, but it involves our guest. Yeah, we're going to get to all of it. Plus, I've got a surprise for our guest tonight. No, it's not the House of Wolves. No, it's not Omen Black. No, it's not any of that. As a matter of fact, not even controversial. And what I've got for our guest, boy, I can't wait for this one here on the weekend. There is no better place to be here right now, and especially with this man, truly one of the founding fathers of this platform. Whether in the past he didn't believe in all wrestling matters, it doesn't matter anymore, because this is the man, ladies and gentlemen, you come to each and every time you're here. And oh, baby, we are in that Steele Nation, because I got my uniform on. And ladies and gentlemen, I even see people here in this chat that I didn't even know that they controversially could be here tonight. That tells you just kind of what this man brings to the table. But even though he has his glasses on, I'm going to give him a pass on that. But in the famous word of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, and who knows, maybe even Def Leppard will come to Sportswire. You just stay tuned on that. But in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, because the chat has arrived, and our guest certainly has plenty to say, and we are living in the Steele Nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, #1 ever. But show a man that is the longest reigning United States champion in IMF history, a man that is the 2025 IMF Rumble in the Wreck winner, a man that was once a part of the House of Wolves, but a man that is now on the same side as the foundation, because he also is one of the foundation members of the Sportswire Radio platform. His name is simply put, the real deal, the former most controversial figure in wrestling history, Welcome home, my friend. How are we doing?
I'm doing all right, Tom. I'm doing all right.
Just all right. I mean, you're Anthony Steele. I mean, boy, you really aren't the most controversial figure in wrestling history. Just all right. Usually we saying something completely off the wall, this, that, or just you're just doing okay. It can't be. It can't be.
See, right now I'm focused on September 22nd. I mean September
27th. I got the poster.
7th,
Don't you worry. I got the poster ready up later on. We'll put that up there.
To face Omen Black for the IMF World Heavyweight Championship. And Omen, I'll get to you later.
You will?
House, I'll get to y'all later.
You will?
And it's because everything is coming to fruition of what I've said. Everything that I've said I was going to do to y'all, that's happening. It's happening very slowly, though. And only time will tell what happens to Omen Black come Ring of Champions.
I'm totally confused because I thought the house always wins because Omen Black beat Damian Satan, gave him 3 Sister Abigails despite being piled on chairs and in that dog collar match. So
how does the house always win when they lost at All Out Warfare?
Well, Omen got the championship. He's
so that means Omen Black won, not the house.
But
Ox was sitting ringside selling some merch because he can't compete. And then what did that leave? That left Jordan Nets, Jason Myers, Jason Storm, and Felix Jones.
Well, Jason Storm's been a topic in a lot of places right now. I mean, we're going to actually get to him to start the show off because I'm not going to ask you. I've decided I'm not going to ask you about last week. That's a different promotion at a different time. And really, that's between that company. You're now here in the IMF, and I do want to ask you about Jason Storm because even though the Prophet Jordan Crowley did say on commentary that the house always wins, and technically Omen Black has backed the IMF championship, but I'm going to get to him later because you did say you don't want to talk to him yet, but there is something I do want to get to here from the IMF, and I want to get your reactions on it because we saw this video here. It was posted yesterday. It has been the topic pretty much everybody's been talking about, especially in the IMF, about Jason Storm, but not what you think about Jason Storm. And I do want to play this video for you, Anthony, because maybe you've been a very busy man. You've obviously got some other things you've been focused on as we hear the noise in the background. But Soldier GP, a man that you see eye to eye with once again, was looking for something. And it's been the topic, and I was just wondering what you thought about what happened here and Jason Storm taking, Soldier GP's father's urn, and maybe Soldier saying along with Justin Parsley that they're going to Michigan. And what was your thoughts on what we just saw yesterday?
I mean, the way I see it is Jason's going to do Jason. It's getting heated. You see, I'm in the background right there, and I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't like. That's not my problem. That's not my issue. My issue is not with Jason Storm. My issue is with the House of Wolves. And I'll say this, Soldier. I hope you get your dad back. I know what it's like, man.
You do.
I really do know what it's like to lose a father. And it's the most meaningful thing to you, just as much as my dad's ashes is the most meaningful thing to me. But all I'm going to say is I beat him down for you at All Out Warfare. Finish the job. Finish what we started and just get it done.
Wow. You know, Anthony, I would never have imagined in a million years that you would be telling Soldier GP just to get it done and to get your dad back, especially after everything you've been through with Soldier GP on this platform. I've pretty much gotten a front row seat for the entire timeline between you and Soldier GP. In fact, there are some people even in this chat right now that lived with you, and we even talked about the Soldier GP on this episode, whether they wanted to be in the background or not. They got a front row seat, so it is definitely bizarro land. Boy, I really thought the world was bizarre, but tonight might be the definition of that. But Anthony, we're gonna talk about the All Out War match. I have it synced up. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna show the footage. We're gonna show you and all these different things. I've even got a gift for you later on. It's not the House of Wolves. It's not Omen Black. But Anthony Steele, I want to go with this here because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you certainly, with the front row seat, have helped build Sportswire Radio alongside the IMF. Talk to me now about what it means coming up on the 1 year anniversary of you being a part of the IMF.
You see, everyone talks about how I've been blacklisted from a lot of places. And it has now come to a realization that it's really not me. It's that people don't want to hear the truth about themselves. People don't want to know what's really wrong with them. And when I tell them that, they don't like it too much. See, but Dirty has come to the realization that Anthony Steele deserves to be an IMF. That I deserve to have a spot on this roster. There is a reason why I held that championship for 9 months. There is a reason why in the same night I defended the title, lost the title, and won the Rumble. I bust my ass for this company day in and day out. I put on some of the best matches that I could possibly have with some of the most talented individuals. Whether I love them or I hate them, there's some talented guys on this roster. And that leads to Ring of Champions. Omen, I've said this before. I showed my face in IMF 1 year ago at this very stage. I showed my face and won the IMF United States Championship day one. Now, 365 days later, Anthony Steele is back at Ring of Champions. Anthony Steele is back fighting for an IMF championship, but it's no longer the U.S. title. It's not the Midwestern title. It's not the tag team titles. It's not the hardcore title. It is the World Heavyweight Championship. And Omen, everyone can say I was rooting against Damien. No, I wasn't rooting against him for the simple fact that I know what me and Damien are capable of doing inside that ring. I just wanted to be the guy to look you dead in the eye and tell you, when I hold that championship up in one hand, I want you to hold my arm up and acknowledge that Anthony Steele is the one guy that has your number, dog.
Well, I mean, that's something we're going to get into. And I do have the poster up, by the way, for Ring of Champions, and we'll certainly be talking a lot about that here in the coming weeks here on Sportswire Radio, and we'll have plenty of coverage, I have no doubt. And it takes place September the 27th, which is 5 weeks from today. You will not want to miss this. All the championships will be defended here in Palo. Matches begin 7 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the Palo Community Center, the place to be. So we have the poster up here. But, Anthony, I wasn't going to ask you this question, but I guess I should. I'm going to save Omen for later on. We'll get to him. But you did mention that IMF World Championship. And, it's been a minute since you've been a world champion. It has been a real hot minute. And I got to ask you, what would that mean to you to be the IMF World Champion? Because, I mean, it has been a real long time since you held a World Heavyweight Championship, and you're 5 weeks away from potentially holding a world title for the first time in a long time, and what would it mean to you?
It's not really what it means to me. It's what it means to the fans. Because now I'm not just doing it for my own self want. I'm doing it for what the IMF needs, and I'm doing it for what the fans need. The fans, like I said, need a change. They need a different direction in the IMF. And what Omen has been doing is not it. What Omen has been talking about how he's going to walk out of the IMF with the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist. That don't sit right with me. See, a true champion doesn't walk out on the company that he represents. And Omen, while you're the face of this company right now, you're the worst face that this company's ever seen. And come September 27th, there's going to be a new face. And you're looking at him.
Oh.
This is going to be the poster boy for IMF. This is going to be not the Steele era, but this is going to be the IMF era for Anthony Steele and the rest of the world that wants to come and challenge me once I take that strap off of you. And I'm glad, Omen, that this is not a no DQ, a no holds barred, a last man standing. It's a straight up wrestling match because I'm going to show you that I can out wrestle you any day of the week. You're 6 foot, 375 pounds. I'm 6'2", 256. And when I body you, see, because Omen, I have a goal, and it's the biggest goal of them all for September 27th. And it's not really to win that world title. It's to show you that you're not stronger than me. So I'm going to do what Damien couldn't. And I'm going to do it in front of the entire Palo Community Center. Because I'm going to do what I did 2.5 years ago to you. Again, this time in front of the fans. I'm going to pick you up, hoist you on my shoulders, and I'm going to slam you in the middle of that ring.
Whoa. You know, people always talk about WrestleMania 3. Hogan slams Andre. But could September 27th be that moment where Steele slams Omen? I don't know. But Anthony, I'm taken back by what you just said shortly. You just talked about the fans and the direction about what the fans want. Anthony, I've never heard you ever in 2.5 years talk about the fans. What has changed? Anthony, the fans, you talking about the fans? I mean, tell us more.
It's simple, Tom. Like, Omen, I understand that what you said, you used me. But see, the one thing that the fans don't do is use anybody. They know what's right. They know what's wrong. And they know that Omen Black being the world champion is wrong for the company. It's bad business, man. And let's talk about All Out Warfare for a little bit.
Let's talk about. I have the match. We can put that.
It leads into it.
Yes, let's talk about it.
If you don't mind, pull up the video of me walking out into that arena.
I actually was going to do that. I'm glad you did because I actually have the match. You just have to bear with me because I need to share my screen and I can't scroll up on my screen, which is a little bit of a problem right now. And I can't seem to figure that out. But we are going to go like this. I'm going to go like that. Am I with you now? I think I've got you. Yeah, I got you synced in here. I got you synced in. Yeah, see, I was able to do that pretty quick.
Turn the volume up because I want them to hear something.
All right, I want to do that.
You hear that?
They're with you.
You hear that, Omen? That's something you don't get. That's something I haven't gotten in a long time. And to hear those fans cheer for me, chant my name. That's where the revolution starts. It's Omen. These fans know I'm one of the only people that can make this company money, and I start by taking you out.
Whoa. Well, you did say a year ago, famously, when you were brought into the IMF, that you were going to do that. You talked about those things you wanted to do. And I don't know if you're Nostradamus. You've certainly said a lot of things over the years. But, I mean, if you get your wish, you could certainly be the biggest prophet of them all. And I do have the prophet Jordan Crowley here. But you've got your work cut out for you. We'll definitely get to that later on, I'm sure, throughout the next month. But you got what you wanted here also in the Prince of Professional Wrestling, Felix Jones, to start off the all-out war match.
Felix, I told you. I like you, kid. I really do. Like that's not a lie. And Felix, you are a spectacular talent. But I had to prove to you what I told you a couple weeks ago. I had to prove to you that speed doesn't always beat strength. And you see, as I wrap my arm around your head, squeezing it, making it to where you can almost not breathe. And then I wrench your arm. I wanted you to try to use that speed. And here you go. 1, 2, 3, and nothing.
Well, I'm giving him a pass.
I shut it down, Felix. And that's because, Felix, while you're a great talent, you're just not there yet, man. I take a lot of damage on a monthly basis. And that drop kick, I'll admit it, caught me right square on the chin, a little bit on the lip. And just when you thought that you had everything in your favor, how fast did it change? Because right here, you're back on your back, looking up at the lights while I stand over you. And then you went a little airborne. See, Felix, this is what you got to get used to nowadays. You're right about one thing. I'm not Damian Saint. I'm not Omen Black. I'm Anthony Steele. 8 years in this industry has taught me a lot. 8 years in this industry has taught me that guys like you have the same mentality I did when I walked in. That you're going to change the course of history for itself. And you're going to do it by your own very hands. And what better to do it by beating a guy that has done it longer than you? See, I used to think that. I used to have that same thought process leading into every match. I had that same thought process when I was down in Memphis, Tennessee. When I fought guys that were trained by Sting. The Stinger, the icon. And guess what? He did the same thing to me that I'm doing to you. He broke me down. He showed me that while I'm good at this, he's great at this. And that's what I'm showing you at All Out Warfare, is while you're good at this, while you're great at this, I was born for this. And now that Jason Storm gets in the mix,
yeah,
the beatdown continues.
It does. It certainly does. And the house always wins. And they are certainly winning here because Jason Storm, who I guess depending on who you talk to, is a champion still. I'll leave that for a different conversation at a different time. But Jason Storm and you have really no history with him. And we're getting a chance to see some of that history really for the first time here. I mean, you and him really don't know each other going into this.
And you see, me and Jason will cross paths. I promise that. There will be a time that Jason Storm faces Anthony Steele one-on-one, and I'll make sure that it happens.
I believe you could.
And it was a gift for him to be in this match, for the simple fact of he then saw what I'm capable of. See, while it's 2-on-1, of course, Jason and Felix is going to have the advantage. But see, as the odds started going against them and evening them out, the house started to look a little weak. The house started to look like they didn't know what to do because Omen wasn't there. Omen wasn't there to direct them. But see, Omen, that's the one thing I told you, is I didn't need any direction.
You've never been a guy that takes orders. We've talked about this many times on this platform. You are Anthony Steele. You are not a follower. There is no question. You do not take orders from anybody.
And as many times as you thought that I was really listening to you, no, I was doing my own thing, Omen. I was doing my own thing, setting everything up for what it needed to be. And what it needed to be was for you to think that you could use Anthony Steele. That you think that you're bigger and badder than me. But the truth of the matter is, Omen, you're just a pawn in my game.
No, wait a minute. I'm confused. You say right now here that Omen Black's a pawn in your game? Please tell us more. Tell us more. I'm confused.
The reason why Omen was a pawn in my game is Omen, this is the match that I've wanted for a long time. When I stepped foot in IMF, what did I tell you? I want to beat you at all costs. I want to take everything away from you.
You did say that you wanted to divide Omen. You did talk about that famously here. You did say that.
And what better way than to take the IMF World Championship away from you to where you have nothing?
Well,
because Omen, what does a man that has nothing left to lose really have to lose? I have nothing. I have no championship. I have no partner. I have no house. I'm not a member of the foundation. That was a one-time only thing.
You were wearing a foundation shirt, though. Foundation 24. I mean,
honorary.
So you don't want to join the foundation after all, seeing how well you guys work together for that?
Nah. See, if there's one thing, if there's one person I want to team with, and it is the team that I got inducted into the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame with, and that is Justin Parsley. Because right here, it shows when Jason Storm thinks that he has Parsley on his side, Parsley beats him like the redheaded stepchild that he is.
Well, I mean, if you ask the company that he was in before, I mean, I'm sure that they'd have plenty to say on that. I'm not going down that road.
Here we go. Hey, Parsley. How'd that moment feel?
It was real. It was real. That's what I would tell you, that he has told me it was real. He told me it was a real moment for him. It was real.
Because right here, I brought back the move I ain't done in a while.
You haven't done
that. Kick the face off Jason Storm.
You did. You did. You certainly did. And he felt that maybe that's what he got for what he said here on Sunday's show. I don't know. But certainly, Anthony, I mean, listen, what you are doing out here, I say it all the time, in the ring, you are one of the very best out there. People can say all they want about your past. People can say all they want about different places that you've left and you've been evicted from, according to Omen Black. But really, at the end of the day, you're the one still standing. I mean, those places that you were evicted from, I mean, they're basically on the Epstein report. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they're basically the equivalent of being on the Epstein report. We wouldn't want to talk about them. I mean, if we were paid or attempted bribery, that's the way most people would look at those places. So really, maybe you were right, Anthony, all this time. Maybe you were right about those companies that you used to be a part of, because those companies basically are the equivalent of being on the Epstein report, and you're the one still standing because you called a spade, and if you say what you've done in the past here about other places and so far coming up on your 1-year anniversary of being in the IMF, I mean, you might forever be the Nostradamus of wrestling if you walk away at Ring of Champions with the IMF World Championship. And at that point, anything you say or do inside and outside the ring, it's almost a guarantee at this point.
And, I want you to fast forward a little bit
Yes, sir.
towards the end, because then there's a
I'm going to
big
go to
topic.
about the 20. Let me go to the 24-minute mark. How about that?
Go a little bit further than that.
Okay, you're Anthony Steele. I'm going to certainly say yes, sir.
Let's go to where Jason attacks Soulja with the urn.
Let's freeze it here because we're at the 27-minute mark. So we'll go. I think we have about a minute or two going into that. So, but we're obviously we had the big spot. I think the spot's coming up. Did we get to the spot? I think this is the spot that comes up. But obviously this is where everybody has now been in the match, and this is where the all-out war. The match itself started officially. Was it like 6 minutes earlier? This is the spot. Yeah, that was the Parsley spot. That really happened off the top rope. Just saying. And
you see, right here is where everyone gets to see how well Anthony can coincide with Soulja, Parsley, and Drago. See, because everyone doubted that I can get along with them.
Omen was saying that on here. Remember what Omen and Felix were saying? They were saying it'll never last. It'll never last in this match. You with Drago and Soulja especially.
And Felix and me, I'll say this. I don't know how long me and Felix really fought for in this match, but it seemed like forever.
It did. Well, you started the match, then you came back in different times, and I mean that's what you wanted, though. You wanted Felix. You wanted him throughout the match.
Oh yeah. And see, Felix learned one thing.
What?
Is something that I've said a long time ago. Anthony Steele has the heart of a warrior. I don't give up until my body tells me that I can't go no more.
Your love of this sport does speak volumes. You have talked about this is really the only thing you want to do. I mean, so to be fair, you have said this throughout the last 3 years. You have said this in different places you've represented, you've worked for, you live for. I mean, you love this sport maybe more than anybody ever. And there you go, even going off the top rope, something you almost never do in your career. Never do.
You got to take everything into account. What is going to happen in order to make the house learn that they're expendable, disposable, and easily forgotten?
Well, I mean, the cards definitely crumbled. I mean, the deck was stacked and, well, it folded. I mean, that's what this happened in this match.
See, all four of us standing side by side by side by side proves one thing, that in this industry, the topic is true, that an enemy of my enemy can be my friend at the end of the day.
And I would also add 4 of the very best in our circuit. You think about 4 of the very best. Soulja, Justin Parsley, Il Drago, my High Chief, my Samoan Dragon, and you, Anthony Steele. 4 of the very best pound for pound in a ring. And there we go. There is Jason Storm, Puppet Master, who naturally selects to hit Soulja GP with his father's urn. Certainly something even you, Anthony, I don't even know if you would have done that. And we know your history with the Ulafalas and what you've said about different companies and wrestlers. And I don't even know if you would have done that, Anthony Steele.
Maybe back in the day.
Well, you certainly did that kick there. That was definitely a lot further in the back.
And this, Omen, I want you to watch this, Omen, because I know you're here. Watch the demise of your boys.
Oh my God.
Goes Jordan.
The former world champion, Jordan Nets. Man, you have many history with it. Oh, my goodness. Listen,
and down goes Felix.
That was ferocious. Very ferocious.
And what does that leave, Omen? Who does that leave? Jason Storm and Jason Myers.
Ah, yes.
And one of them walked out on your team.
And how about that moment, Anthony? You embraced Justin Parsley. That amazing moment that the fans are still talking about right now.
And now it's time for the grand finale.
Anthony couldn't have said it better himself.
Because Omen, I told you last month. I told you this month. The house isn't as strong without me.
Well,
and right here, Parsley.
The fans are wanting it. The fans are wanting it.
This is what it's going to feel like.
Oh my goodness. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to happen here. One, two, three. Ring the bell. The Foundation wins the all-out war match to open the show here. And Anthony Steele, that's right, Anthony Steele really gets the pin in. And now we see four of the very best in our circuit today. Four of the generational talent, all in the ring side by side and embracing. That includes the United States champion, Il Drago. That includes the tag team champions, the Real Monsters, and the King of Palo winner, Justin Parsley and Soldier GP. And then the 2025 Rumble in the Rec winner, the longest United States champion in IMF history, Anthony Steele. And Anthony, you raised their hands. This would have never happened. Never in a million years. In my wildest dreams, would we have thought that Anthony Steele would have raised the hands of Soldier GP, Justin Parsley, and Soldier GP. Anthony, I'm shocked.
I unmute this real quick.
Okay, we'll do that
now. For the people that haven't heard this.
It's funny. Just a few months ago, I stood alongside those four men and I was ready to go to war with them. And every single one of you showed what the house really is made of, and that's greed. And it all lies with Omen Black. Y'all didn't believe that I was going to coincide with y'all tonight. But we were going to prove one thing, and that's the house can be broken. And Omen, as for you, tonight, you face Damian Satan. And I'm going to make one promise. I'm going to sit front row for that match so that I can see with my very eyes who I go to face for the World Heavyweight Championship next month. And I promise each and every one of y'all that there will be a change in the IMF come September. There will be no Omen Black, there will be no House of Rose. There will be a new world champion, whether or not it thinks Damian Satan or Omen Black himself. So let's continue to have the rest of the show go off on bang. Thank y'all for coming up.
Anthony, yeah, wow. I mean, I'll tell you what. Anthony Steele, I mean, you are definitely really speaking from the heart, which I think people are really shocked still of.
It's the simplest thing, Tom. Is the fans wanted that to happen at All Warfare. And now the fans are going to get what they also want, which is Omen Black versus Anthony Steele. So now, Omen, it is time to directly talk to you.
As we put the poster up here, just in time.
At Ring of Champions, you challenged me to a regular one-on-one match. That means disqualifications. That means rope breaks. The only way to win by pinfall, submission. But countouts don't let me win that championship. And you made an offer You made an offer that if you retain that world championship, that next month, if I lose to you, as long as you hold that world heavyweight championship, I can never compete for the IMF world title again. You're on.
Whoa, what, Anthony? You really just said that? Is that really something your mouth can cash?
Alman, I'm gonna say this. November of last year, I pinned you. 1, 2, 3. I retained the IMF United States Championship against you. So if I can't do that again, there's no point of going after you again while you hold that world title. So I'm going to be a man of my word, Omen. We're going to have a fight. It's not going to be a match for me. I'm going to go to war with a guy that I considered a brother at one point. You're going to kick my ass, like you say. I'm coming to kick yours. I'm coming to finish what Damien started. And I am coming to take back the IMF. I'm coming to take the IMF World Championship. And I'm coming to Ring of Champions for a change. 1 year ago, I was a piece of shit. 1 year later, the roles are reversed, Omen. Now you are.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like September the 27th, Ring of Champions, the next IMF show. Not only is Anthony Steele wrestling for Omen Black's IMF World Heavyweight Championship, but also if Omen Black defeats Anthony Steele cannot challenge for the IMF World Championship. Boy, and Omen Black has said he's going to be the final IMF World Champion, and that means Anthony Steele will never get a world title shot again here because Omen Black has said it.
As long as he's champion, yeah.
And that's the truth. Omen has said he's going to be the final IMF champion. So you lose on September 27th. That's it, Anthony. You're never getting a title shot. Is this something you really want to do? I mean, because Anthony, you have changed. There's no question. The fans are behind you. There's no question. The foundation trusted you last weekend. But is this something you want to do, especially after what Omen Black did to Damian Saint last weekend? You sure you want to do that?
100%, Tom. And the reason why is, like I said, I've beat you, Omen. If I can't do it again, with every rule intact, because if you remember, there's another rule that was attached to that. If you get disqualified, you lose that championship. That was the terms we agreed on. So, Omen, you want a fair fight? You have it. You want a fair ass whooping? You got it.
Well, Anthony,
And Omen,
whoa.
Omen, all it takes is 3 things to end you, and that is for the ref to count. 1, 2, 3.
Well, you know what? Anthony Steele, he is no longer the most controversial figure in wrestling history for now. But I'll tell you what I think is very controversial is that Anthony Steele has announced here live on Sportswire Radio that he's challenging for Omen Black's IMF World Heavyweight Championship. And if he loses, as long as Omen Black is the champion, Omen Black has said he is going to be the final IMF World Champion. Anthony Steele's out of luck. He can never challenge for that IMF World Heavyweight Championship again. It's a real gamble here, Anthony.
And here's the funny thing. There was also a clause in that All-Out Warfare match that if the Foundation wins, if Team Foundation wins, that everyone gets a shot at that world title. But the clause was changed for me. The clause was changed that if I win, since I already got a world title opportunity, that I can use that opportunity for any championship of my choosing. Which means, Omen, if I beat you next month and win the IMF World Championship, that means I can go after Ox for the Hardcore Championship.
No, you don't want to.
I can go after JoJo Jackson for the Midwestern Championship.
Yeah, well, that would be interesting. I think people.
I can find a partner. I can team up with Justin Parsley and just say, "Hey, Soldier, if you want to take the month off, I'll help defend the tag team titles with Parsley for you."
Well, Soldier, right now, let's get.
If you want to focus on something else, I'll help you and Parsley out, or Drago.
No, we don't want to go
have
down
that rubber match.
But
we
there's
one more title shot for Anthony Steele at the IMF United States Championship.
That's a good one. But there's somebody else that you left out that I think that sounds more appropriate that you might want to challenge for. That name ring a bell from the All Out War match you started with?
You're right. Because Felix, I could challenge for the PWF World
That I think we really want to see. We really would like to see that match, Anthony.
The time will tell. I have a year to cash that in. I have 1 year to choose who I want to face, what championship I want to go after.
So you could be a double champion. You could be the IMF World Champion on September 27th, and then you could have another belt of your choice. I mean, that's really, really interesting and maybe not so controversial after all.
But one thing I'm more focused on is not the other title opportunities. It is Omen. The title opportunity that is proven, written in wheat, signed, date, and delivered. That's September 27th. Omen in the main event of Ring of Champions. You're going to pass that ring to the true champion, which is the real deal, Anthony Steele.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, could you imagine this? Anthony Steele, who a year ago walks into the IMF, and it was a loaded question. Anthony Steele, how long will he last in the IMF? Anthony Steele's been here. He's been there. He's lasted 2 months, 3 months. He couldn't last 5 months in a company. Anthony Steele was a cancer in the locker room. Anthony Steele's too controversial. I can't work with him. He said this here on Sportswire. Don't get involved with him. But now, all of a sudden, a year later, Anthony Steele has the fans behind him. He's no longer swearing anymore. He's now least controversial compared to almost everybody else that comes on here. But the most important part, Anthony Steele could really be the next IMF World Champion. And then after that, could really have a choice of any championship he wants. Yeah, Anthony Steele is definitely back on Sportswire. He's definitely here, and I've got a lot of people here in the chat. I want to get to them. And Anthony, I really got something for you. And it's not the House of Wolves that are coming on here tonight. It's not Omen Black that's coming on here. But I'll save that for the other side of the chat because a lot of people want to talk to you tonight because you are back here in the platform that you helped build. You're the guy, after all, Anthony. I'm going to say it time and time again. I have always said Anthony Steele in the ring, he's better in the ring than what he says here on Sportswire or anywhere else. And now the fans are seeing what I've been saying pretty much since the first day you came here. 2.5 years ago, I always said to people, you know, Anthony, there was company after company that told me, don't bring Steele on Sportswire. You can't work with him. He'll self-destruct on here. Steele, I'm telling you, he's bad news. And I said, no. I watched this guy in the ring. There's something about him. He's got a love for this sport of wrestling. He wants to be here. He wants to talk wrestling. He deep down, he's got a good heart. And now the fans are seeing what I've been seeing for 2.5 years. We'll see if you can bring it home for real coming up here. But before that, we'll get to some people here in the chat. I want to get to a lot of people here. They want to talk to you. And, yeah, we got something for you. Now, only if
you know what? Let me say one thing beforehand.
Yes.
Hey, Omen. You brought up something. And I'm going to address it.
You are?
We've stated it a little bit here and there tonight, but let's bring it up a little bit more.
Okay.
I've been booted from a lot of companies, right, Omen? I've been exiled. I'm a good guy now. I'm a respectful guy. So, Omen, do you ever think I'll do this? Hi, Ronnie Brady. Hi, Gage Flair. Hi, Fletch. Hi, every single person that has ever hired Anthony Steele and let him compete in a ring. Hi, Tashawn. All those companies, all those wrestlers that owned a company that put themselves over in. It's going to be a little controversial. Those men, except one, those men I just named, they don't do it for the same reason I do.
They don't?
They don't open a company to make the company look good through their talent that they bring in. They open up a company to see how far they can push themselves in the faces of the fans, to see how over they can get, because they can't get over anywhere else. So, you want to know why I've been kicked, Omen? You know why I've been exiled from 3 of those companies? Here you go. Here's the truth. Let's start with the first one. Get ready for the buzzer.
Okay.
TBW got exiled because Gage Flair couldn't understand that Anthony Steele is better than him. And like MJF says, and he knows it.
Well, we'll let that pass. We'll let that one pass.
Let's go to the next one. Omen, XCW. Shout out Justin Parsley.
We're going to definitely put the buzzer for
the
that
two
one.
greatest to come out of there. Fired me because I'm better than him, and he knows it.
Well, probably, yeah.
And let's talk about Resurrection Wrestling. I got fired because Ronnie Brady knows that Anthony Steele is greatness at its fucking greatest. And I'm better than you, Ronnie. And you know it.
Oh.
Those 3 men.
And you wrestled in a 4th company with initially with a U, that another guy that, let's just say, showed up here in pajamas. You want to throw them in there,
You
too?
know what?
Let's do that. Let's throw them in there.
Hey, Jake. UWA.
Which I see some companies are looking to work with again, so we're going to definitely put the buzzer there for that.
You fired me after one appearance over a dude who tried to bring up a criminal record of mine. That's null and void. You want to know why? Because I can out-wrestle you and your roster. So, Omen, what have we learned? What have we learned here? I got fired because I'm great at this. I got fired because the passion and the love for this sport runs deeper in my veins than any one of those individuals that I've named. This industry was made for me. IMF was created by two individuals that love this just as much as I do. IMF, hands down, is the best company I've worked for in my entire career. In September 27th, I'm going to shout out one person. Hey, Gary Patrick, September 27th, the main event is for you.
Wow. Hey, Anthony Steele, you're dedicating this to that individual? That sounds like the owner of the IMF. That's the owner of the IMF. You sure you want to do that?
I'm going to bring the great days of IMF back. I'm going to bring back the IMF that I fell in love with, that I wanted to join.
You did. You were the guy that took a chance on the IMF almost 3 years ago. I remember it very well. You were that guy that went there in a completely different environment that the IMF is in today. You did do that.
And Gary, let me say this.
And
my name's not James Taylor.
He's here tomorrow, though.
My name's not James Taylor, Gary. I don't talk about showing up and bitching about what the fuck I'm doing. I show up, I do what I do best, and I just put on some of the greatest matches anyone has ever seen.
I'm going to let that pass. You do. You are a very good wrestler in the ring.
And no, Gary, I'm going to answer the thought that is in your brain. I will not leave here to go do trampoline wrestling to put myself over yet again. I will promise you that.
And, you know, I did have something for you tonight, and I appreciate that James is here tomorrow, though. He's here tomorrow, not talking about IMF. I mean, he was here, and we would hope that he comes back to the IMF.
And James.
Yes. I thought you were friends with him, though.
James, listen very closely, buddy. I'm better than you, and you know it.
Well, I am going to say that we're going to move on to the chat because I think James is in a different class, and those previous names you mentioned.
Yeah, he's an old timer that can't handle the IMF. Hold on. I'm going to speak on this. He is a dude.
The fans like you right now.
He is a dude that stepped in the IMF ring and couldn't hack it. He is a dude that stepped in the IMF ring one time and left because he was not on the level that IMF needs him to be. And James,
well, you'd have to ask those
James
individuals.
Let me tell you something.
Yes,
brother. It is time for you to take your little custom t-shirts off, hang up your little jean pants, and make sure you never wrestle like Stone Cold Steve Austin ever again. Because I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yes.
I know what you do. I know who you are. And I know how you act. So when you buy the 2K video game in about 5-6 years, play me.
Oh, yeah.
Play as me.
I would love that. That would be a great idea. You want James Taylor to play as Anthony.
And then what's going to happen, James, is Anthony Steele is going to be on your TV screen. He's going to be on your video game console. He's going to be on the cups that you buy when you go to the shows. He's going to be at the merch stands that you go buy your little t-shirts. He's going to be surrounded by individuals that love this just as much as I do. And James, you know where you can watch Anthony Steele? From the comfort of your living room on YouTube at IMF Wrestling.
Now that I could certainly agree with. Yes, we want to support the IMF. I am not going to comment on.
But I will give one shout out. Hey Dalton, I see you're doing good. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Well, yes, we certainly like Dalton and we like James. He's here tomorrow, though, but we'll certainly not be talking about these comments that you've made because you have a long history with James. But I will say the other names you mentioned, we're not going to talk about because those are names that would probably be on the Epstein report. You probably have heard of the Epstein report, and those individuals would probably be very good candidates, likely to be on the Epstein report. If they're not, they should be probably on that report. But James Taylor is definitely going to talk about something else. Not you, Anthony Steele, but I have a lot of people in the chat that would like to talk to you because I did want to give you something, and you still might want to hear what they have to say. Hello to Zilla. Thank you, Zilla. We appreciate you coming on here. Now, there's this person that comes on here all the time and is a big Justin Parsley fan. And her name is Jade, and I think she's the niece of Gary Patrick. That's probably a cue. And she's now become a fan of yours, and she wants me to play this video that she sent me. I think you're in it. I don't know what exactly it is, but let's see if we can put it up here on the screen. And I think that's her, right? You recognize this video?
Oh yeah,
you recognize it.
That's me holding down Felix for her to chop him.
And I thought she was cousins with Felix, and that's really not. That's not rising out of the ashes of the Phoenix there, but she says hello. But speaking of people, by the way, I do want to give a shout out to Dirty. By the way, I am going to say Dirty and Jordan, they might be the best play-by-play duo in the sport right now. I mean, I could listen to those guys talk for hours. I mean, you know what? They should just do Sportswire. I'm going to just step off to the side because these guys are way better than me. And, you know, we got now the best commentary in all wrestling because what Jordan and Dirty are doing, it's just, I mean, you know what time it is, you know, and Jordan, though, is going to be calling Omen 1, 2, 3 over you on September 27th. You know he's going to be saying that here in the chat, but Dirty does want to say hello to you, and he's very happy.
I'll do it one time and one time only for you, Dirty. 4 up.
Well, you know what? Listen, I mean, to borrow a James Taylor phrase, never say never. You know, never say never. And I did put "Let's Go" because I was commenting as the PWF page. And hello to Donnie. Yes, thank you. Yes, and it's me, everybody. We'll be on soon. I bought you some time. We got some more comments. Great showing from the foundation. You guys were great out there. I mean, what a match it was to see 4 of the very best in our circuit today. 4 of the very best from this platform in our movement. I think of you, despite some of the things you did say about James Taylor. You know, I'm a James Taylor fan, so I gotta, you know, step to the side on some of the things you said. But seeing you, Justin Parsley, our hall monitor here, Soldier GP, one of my all-time favorites, and Il Drago, my High Chief, my Samoan Dragon, all 4 of you side by side. Anthony, that was poetry in motion. I got to tell you, that was poetry in motion, and that was certainly better than when I was studying the HIPAA laws here across this country, and also the legal terms for sexual harassment classes, because, you know, I was going almost back to law school again. But thank you, Anthony, for giving me a welcome distraction from that. Yes, hello to Dirty. Hello to everybody here. We will be discussing. Please hit the sub button for the IMF. I have the link here shortly, and you did show up eventually. And where am I? Comatose is here, and yeah, you know, Anthony, you've been kind of pushed to the side because other controversial figures of late, Jason Storm, Comatose with this other guy you've talked about in the past. I won't let you go too far into that. Aaron Blaze.
You're talking about Aaron Blaze.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that, you know, another guy from different promotion. You haven't wrestled him, but you know, those guys seem to be more at the front. Well, you've got Omen Black. I mean, you're busy with that.
Better than Aaron Blaze.
Well, I mean, Omen Black, it is his platform. You know, I'm a big Omen Black fan. I'm a big Aaron Blaze fan. I'm a big Comatose fan. I'm a big James Taylor fan. I'm a big fan of Sean Jovi. Thank you, Sean Jovi, for saving us here, because Sean Jovi is certainly here. And I guess you and Sean Jovi are okay now, because I've seen you in the Jovi's vlogs. He tried to do the war chant in his most recent vlog. And you know what time it is. Sean Jovi is here. Anything positive?
Jovi.
Yes.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it was very kind of you. I was waiting for you to say, thankfully, something kind about Sean Jovi, and you basically did that. So I'm glad you did, because Sean Jovi also has a YouTube channel, and he's closing in on 1,000 subs. I have to give Sean Jovi a sub because he was the first BYW wrestler to come on this platform. And if you're here right now, you need to hit Sean Jovi a sub for him. You need to give him a sub. Please give Sean Jovi a sub, because without Sean Jovi, Anthony Steele, I know you are Anthony Steele and you were in rare form tonight, but we wouldn't be here without Sean Jovi. And I am a big Sean Jovi fan. He got a big victory here, by the way, and he may have something to say about those tag team championships also coming up on September 27th. But in the meantime, I would like you to say something by hitting that sub button for me with Sean Jovi's YouTube channel. So, yeah, do that and hit the sub button for the All Wrestling Matters Archives button. Who else we got? Speaking of people, Anthony, that I think you lived with this person, right? Ring a bell? I guess you're not so controversial anymore because you're actually getting a hello there.
Hey, Casey, how you doing?
Well, that's a name I don't think I've heard mentioned in since you lived with that individual, and I guess hell's frozen over.
Congratulations on the new house, Casey. Congratulations.
Wow. And you're not in. Are you in that house right now? Is that the whole thing? No. Good. I think the last time we saw this person, you showed her on the screen, but that was like a few months ago, and you were still in kind of that most controversial mode. Now you seem to be PG. I mean, you timed the censor button, and you did say some things, but not so controversial. I still say compared to other things, still not so controversial. But we'll say hello to her, and you're not in that house, which is always interesting. But okay. Speaking of the house, though, the Prophet Jordan Crowley is here, and he's definitely not inviting you to his house. Just saying, he's not. And neither is Reverend Sullivan, by the way. But you better be worried about Reverend Sullivan, by the way. Yes, I don't know how this came up, but yes, happy birthday to Maxwell Reeves. I don't think he would be here, though, tonight. I think Maxwell Reeves isn't ready for you in the ring. I think he needs some other thing. But happy birthday to Maxwell. We like Maxwell, and Anthony, I think you're a little above him at the moment. Things happening slowly, a regular occurrence when Steele is involved. That's true. I'm going to give him a pass on that and agree. Hello to the Prophet. Yes, we saw you. You look at winning so genetically. It's not merely about wins and losses. It's about what's best for the house and for the IMF, whether they like it or not. And like it or not, Anthony, Omen is back on top as the undisputed IMF champion, and he's on his way to being the final IMF champion. Next comment? Yeah, I get it. At least
I thought they were supposed to be good comments.
I got some. Well, you had Casey here. I mean, you lived with Casey, and, once upon a time, Casey commenting on your stream would have been, not likely, but I guess you never know. I mean, maybe James Taylor will comment and give you an hello. I would like to see that. I mean, are you friends with James Taylor still, or no? No, not friends with him. I'm not going to ask him that.
I don't know. I just work here.
Okay, well, you definitely you did build the platform just like James Taylor did. So I'll leave that at that. Poor soldier, seems poetic that he's having daddy issues. Actually, it is kind of ironic. I mean, it's a great Alanis Morissette song, but we'll move on. It's kind of ironic. Actually is. The Prophet Jordan Crowley, that is her uncle, and we want to say hello. And by the way, Zilla's on Team Omen Black's side, by the way. You've got a very star-crossed history with Zilla. So in a way, I'm not surprised.
Hey Zilla, how you doing?
Probably better that you just said hello. And also, she does say hello to Omen Black again. There's the one true King of Palo, but Justin partially won the King of Palo. I just have to correct that very slightly. You would agree with that, right? He won the King of Palo. He's the King of Palo winner.
Yeah.
Omen's not here, but he's here in spirit. And Jay liked you now. Who would have guessed you and Jay would be seeing eye to eye?
Jay, tell your dad I said hi.
Well, I'll let that pass because you're on the same side. Don't worry, Steele. Omen will make sure you're on time to your funeral. I hope it'll be different for you because Justin Parsley, look at what happened to him. Look at what happened to Il Drago. Look at what happened to Damian Saint. I mean, think about that, right? All those guys, they met that fate. Look at Sean Jovi. Look at what happened to him. You know what time it is. Look at what happened to Mephisto. Look at what happened to Felix Jones. I mean, Anthony, I hope what you're telling us, you won't meet the same fate of those men. I'm just saying.
I won't.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Speaking of people who are definitely not happy to see you tonight, Ox McCoy.
Hey, how's that shoulder?
Well, it's healing. I'm just saying it's healing, and he's not happy to see you. Just saying. And I should announce to Ox McCoy he'll be less happy knowing that in your chair. Speaking of people you worked with that I think you're okay with, right? Cato, who's the controversial one, he's back here in 2 weeks. Are you all right with Cato? I always get confused.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right with Cato.
Oh, Cato, yeah, because you worked with a lot.
Hi, Cato. Hi, Naomi.
Because Naomi's doing well, and Naomi had a birthday recently, and you worked with Cato in a couple of places, but Cato and you didn't seem to have any issues, so that's always good. Yeah, I like Cato. I'm glad you like him too. Ox McCoy, maybe not so much. We hope Ox is doing well. Speaking of people you've lived with this man. The Underground OG Darkron is here, wanting to say hello, and
I wouldn't say lived with, but
you did Summer Bash. You lived in his home. You were under his roof.
Stayed at his home.
Under his roof for 4 days. You lived there. I mean,
legal residency is 7. But
technically, my law school professor would agree with you on that, so I'll give you a pass, and that's why I'm not.
Hey, I studied law too.
Did you study law, or did you really become a part of the law? Well, you fought the law and won, so technically, you're right. I can't disagree with that. But that's okay. We'll give you a pass. But I do like my Underground OG. By the way, speaking of the Underground OG, he's on a farewell tour coming up. I know we're going to go soon. We got to get you going. You got stuff to do. But do you want to be on the farewell tour for the Underground OG? He's going to hanging up here soon. Do you want to wrestle him in the farewell tour?
Sure.
All right.
Come on, Kron. Let's run it back.
Well, I mean, he could do that in IMF. The door is open for him to come back. I mean, could be a possibility. I would like to see that. We'll get to more comments. I know you got to get going soon. Even I mentioned it that night. Listen to the tape. The only thing you had on Felix was power, and in every other stat, you lose to Felix, especially where it matters most, between the ears. And when it comes to Omen, you won't even have the power advantage. You were outclassed in every way. We'll get to more. You got a lot of comments tonight, so I'm going to try to run through them as quick as I can. Not even in my league, I am mentally superior to Steele. I know every move he makes before he even considers it. And Reverend Solomon's back. Hello to Darkron. Yes, hello to my Underground OG. And time will tell. Time will tell. Zilla is on the House of Wolves side, no matter what. And hello to James Marshall. Setting up had to be fun for 2 rings. Yeah, it takes a lot. It's definitely not fun. And wise decision. Your faith will be rewarded one day, Zilla. Ox is definitely laughing at Anthony Steele. And Parsley's in the video, but he's not here in the chat tonight. Rather fascinating. Thank you, James Marshall, for tuning in. I appreciate you very much. We'll move on. James, the prophet delivers even tools. I do whatever it takes to get the job done. And Omen Black has done that. We're going to find out here in a month. Jade is okay with Steele now. And Zilla is on Team House of Wolves. And what kind of tools are we talking about? A saw, specifically in this case. And Omen Black will want to saw off Anthony Steele's chances of getting an IMF championship shot as long as Omen Black is the IMF champion. Just saying. He'll be the final one. Okay. I operated a power saw and accidentally nicked the ring frame with it. Whoops. That's going to hurt. And by the way, best commentary team around. I think, Anthony, you would even agree with that because we've got a true commentary team that really is good, by the way. Just saying. Really good in the Prophet and Dirty. And, yeah. And to the one, Jason Storm, can you believe you haven't seen your dirtiest day yet? Foundation or our brother's keepers. And you know what? Soldier and Parsley aren't here tonight, Anthony, because they're on their way to Michigan. Not to the place that Jason Storm worked for, but to Jason Storm's home to get that earn back. That's what we can certainly agree on. And I can agree that the best commentary team right now is with the Prophet Jordan Crowley and Dirty. You know what time it is. You are merely a sacrificial lamb for the House of Wolves. See, the House of loves farm animals. They got a goat. They got pigs, and now they got the talk about lambs. Well, at least they're going to be eating good at the dinner table. You could say that again. Taking a drink before talking about Omen, throat getting dry, nervous about the punishment you'll receive at Ring of Champions, evil laugh. The Prophet is in rare form tonight. How is everybody? I'm doing good. I think Anthony's doing good tonight. Hit the sub button for the IMF. Anthony will do even better tonight. And yeah, and Zilla's doing good despite what she may say about the House of Wolves, according to Anthony. But Steele isn't still a greedy fill in the blanks. All he wants is gold. About right. That's what Omen Black has said about you, by the way. Just saying.
You're right. You're right. I want gold. I want the IMF World Championship. For the simple fact that the wrong person has it.
We'll see if you're the right person. By the way,
can we make a clause that if I win, that dude gets kicked off commentary?
I
don't want to hear his voice.
I cannot do that. That is not in my power. You'd have to ask the owner of the IMF, and that's up to him, solely up to him. But you might say that Anthony Steele, should he lose, will be bounced just like those trampolines in Tennessee. That was funny, but I do love trampoline wrestling. But I'm not going down that road. But I do support trampoline wrestling. But Anthony Steele, I want to see you in a ring. I don't want to see you wrestle on a trampoline. I want to see you wrestle in the IMF. That's what I think you can agree with that, right? You can agree with that, Anthony, right? You want to see you wrestle in the IMF. All right, that's good. Going to be a much anticipated match. I agree. You and Omen is worth me donating a ticket, by the way. So there's some fan out there that's going to watch you and Omen wrestle. You know, that's why I support my husband. By the way, thank you to Damian Saint for those very kind words of supporting Sportzwire Radio, a platform Anthony Steele has probably been on just about more than anybody. Well, except the guy coming on tomorrow. That's name change.
It's because he has nothing better to do with his life.
No, he's got an announcement tomorrow. You might have to tune in for it. He's got an announcement.
Is he retiring? Thank fucking God.
No, he's gonna talk about being in a ring tomorrow. And another promise that let's talk about him tomorrow. Let's talk about you, Anthony. No. Let's talk about you.
Go back.
Which one? Another promise that'll be left unfulfilled by Steele. Yes.
What did I say about All Out Warfare?
You and Felix started the match. You were going to win the match.
I promised that I would win the match. I also promised that I was the one that was going to get the pin for the victory.
You did. You said that here on Sportswire. Yes.
Hey, Jordan, shut the fuck up. Get your knowledge.
Back to your old self again.
Get your knowledge straight, dog.
Let's get to the chat. Hit the sub button for Sean Jovi. Let's get him to 1,000 subs. And by the way, he is here, and I am glad my guest tomorrow is here. Your friend is here. Your old-time nemesis is here. So just leave it at that, obviously. Your friend is here. My friend and many people's friends are here. And I am very happy to see him tomorrow night. He's got a big announcement. And I hope that you tune in, Anthony. I hope you tune in for it. I don't know who this is, but thank you for tuning in on Twitch. I get paid on Twitch. What? I have no idea yet. And Jade does not like James Taylor, just saying. So listen. But we like you tuning into Sportswire. And that's okay. Well, let's go on here. Let's move away from liking and not liking people. Yes. Okay. Who else we got here? I'm late. Someone give me a rundown on what I missed. Do you know who this person is? And if you know who this person is, tell Bethany to sub for us on Sportswire, sub for us for the IMF, and you want to give a rundown to your friend?
She already knows.
Okay, then we'll move on. Thank you. But yes, hello to James Taylor. But let's get some more comments. He can't say anything other than hi to people because he can't think on the fly. He has to prepare everything he has to say, so he resorts to silence.
Homie, I'm the best at this fucking game. You're just getting into it.
No, he's not. He's been around a while, actually. Do you know his history with Damian Saint? No. Well, he's been around the block, by the way. I'm just saying. He's actually been in combat. You want to talk about violence? This man has seen it firsthand. Stuff that, even you haven't seen. Just saying.
When he's fucking fighting off 50 dicks. Yeah, that's a lot of combat, dog.
Jail, Anthony. No, this man's done. That's jail. This is different what he's done. I'm just saying. But we'll move on for that. And I will stand up for all of my friends. And I want everybody to be friends. I am going to move away from that comment. But thank you, Bethany. Thank you for everybody here. And okay, we'll move on here. That's a step. I still need an apology from Steele for what he called me months ago. Parsley has never called me names. Do you want to apologize to Jade on here?
No.
You don't? I thought you changed. Casey came on here. I thought you changed.
Yeah, I'm friends with Casey. Me and Casey are really great friends.
But you're not friends with Jade. Okay, can't win them all. Can't win them all. And I don't think we're here to talk about Comatose and Aaron Blaze. We'll talk about that during the week. But sure, I think I'm here about Anthony Steele and Omen Black. You would agree with that, right? We can talk about them a different time, right? Definitely different time.
Yeah.
And Jack Delta likes the live censor button. I'm glad somebody does.
What up, Delta? What up, buddy?
I like the live censor button. It reins everybody in.
Hey, like I said months ago, Delta, when you come back, hit my line. We need that match.
I would love to see him back out there, but I hope he continues to heal. And I'm glad that he is actually helping. He's been helping some of the animals out there. I am a big animal supporter. I've rescued a few animals, so I support my animals on here. And I had a funny video on TikTok, Anthony. They got a lot of views because I saw a rabbit and a cat, and people liked it. So
James, hop out of the chat.
No, he can stay in the chat. We leave
because hold on, bring that back up.
Farm animals and I always make a match made in heaven. So what's the gotta do?
Homo. Exactly. What? Hey, James. Yeah, get ready. You already know. You know what?
I got something for you. How about let me give you a gift? Let me give you a gift.
Oh, I gotta say this.
No, don't do it. You're the most.
You know what?
The fans love you. Let's keep the fans loving you.
They'll love me for this. You know what's a match made in heaven? Wisconsin and sex offenders, because there's a fucking shit ton of them there. And you keep running companies.
Well, that's why we want to go out there and put the button. We want to put the button out there. I'm going to leave that at that. But yes, that Jack Delta, Zilla has a crush on Jack Delta. Very good. Very good. Let's look at the record of promises you've kept and those you've broken. Scale is very tilted. I mean, that's a fair. He would say that that's from his. I
promised for 9 months to hold that fucking U.S. title and did it for 9 months.
Whose son do you have now? That is a fair point from Ox McCoy. And do you have someone tied up? I didn't realize. BDSM was something in your repertoire, Anthony, according to Ox McCoy. Not me.
Hey, if the girls love it, the girls love it. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, we're gonna move on here. We are still a family station, and probably some homeless guy. Thank you. We're gonna move on here. We are a family station. Anthony, that's why I would prefer you not to say certain things because. I'm sure you've heard we've been in this website called blabbermouth.net, the heavy metal version of Rolling Stone 6 times, and Rhino's been here, Savio Vega's been here, so let's be a little more PG because I got something for you before we sign off. The Anthony Steele button is going to be worn out by the end of this session. Yeah, I've got batteries to recharge soon. Thank you for the kind words. It was funny. Jade has been being nice, and you are definitely on the list 2026, maybe. That's a nice word for him to say. Maybe 2026.
But
maybe and 2026 is right around the corner. And hello to my crush Zilla. I still support you no matter what face or heel. And no more name dropping. Well, I'm going to keep dropping names because that's who's come on here. We want to keep those names coming here. And shout out to my friend, the manager of the band, King's X, Alexander Ford. We want to keep Mr. Ford support for Anthony. So please be kind. And hello to Soldier GP. I think you're okay.
What up, Soldier?
Right. All right, Anthony, I know you have to go here soon, but I promised you something. You're making me regret I'm going to give you something because you did say a bunch of things that I was hoping you wouldn't say, but we'll leave that at that. I'll pretend, Anthony, you didn't say those things because congratulations. You are back in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for being less controversial, although you've got me regretting it after some of the things you've said here tonight. But I think that puts you ahead of Justin Parsley at this point, which might actually be even more controversial. I think you're going to have to go check the record book, but either way, you're either tied or now ahead of Justin Parsley in Hall of Fame induction.
Just like 7 or 8.
You're right. I think you're tied with him. So don't make me regret this one because you did say a bunch of things here. Half of them I liked, half of them I didn't like tonight. But congratulations here, Anthony, and don't make me regret this one. But okay, we'll take this off the screen, and yes, congratulations. See, people are being nice, and let's continue to further be nice. I know you're a busy man. I know you have to run here soon, but I mean, after what Damian Saint went through, are you sure this is what you want? I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure after what Damian Saint went through here for that championship, after seeing that now he's probably not going to be here for a while, this is really what you wanted?
Yes. Damian, I applaud you for the fight that you gave Omen. I really do. I sat front row, kept that promise.
That must have been tough for you to see that, by the way. I'm going to put
just,
some of that footage up here before we get to closing thoughts. I mean, that must
the
have been
way
very
the way I
tough
look
for you.
at it is, Damian, you fought as much as you could until you couldn't fight no more. That's my goal for September 27th, is to fight until my body physically shuts down and I can't take any more. So, Omen, let me ask you this question one more time. What does a man that has nothing left to lose really lose in this situation?
Well, you lose the opportunity to challenge for the IMF championship again as long as Omen's the champion.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Well, I mean, opportunity knocks. I get that. But after what Omen did to Damian Saint, and Damian Saint gave him everything but the kitchen sink, literally. And just to remind you that Omen Black, he was created really by Damian Saint. I mean, you've seen what Damian Saint has created here in this man. You said it yourself, and I'm glad you did. 6 foot, 375 pounds of this man. By the way, look at also what Omen Black did to Gabe Sayers, your friend, Gabe Sayers, the man that you came out for and tried to help up. Look at what Omen Black has done to your really best friend, Justin Parsley. We didn't see him for months after that. And let me remind you, Soldier GP is here. Look at what really Omen Black has done to the mind of Soldier GP since Winter Clash of last year. We can keep going down the list of people that Omen Black has really done things to. You could be meeting that same fate. This is not the same Omen Black that you faced 2.5 years ago, and it's certainly not the same Omen Black that you faced in November of last year. Look at this man. Look at what Damian Saint put this man through, and still he's standing. And now he's got Reverend Sullivan. Now he's got the Prophet Jordan Crowley cheering him from behind. And he's got a House of Wolves. Despite what you may say, the house always wins.
I don't see it.
Well, you're seeing the match, right?
I don't see what everyone's talking about. How it's house always wins. House always wins. Omen, I took out the house at All Out Warfare. Now it's time to take you out. Because I know me and you are going to appear together on this platform days before Ring of Champions.
Very soon, by the way. Very soon.
That will be the final talk between me and you. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of respect. I'm not gonna talk over you. I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna let you say what you want to say. And I would respectfully ask you to give me the same treatment. Because I'm gonna tell you this. September 27th, there will be no more talking. There will be no more verbal disagreements. The only thing that is left is for you and me to meet in that squared circle one more time and see who's really worth being the IMF World Heavyweight Champion. See right there what Damian just tried to do? I'm going to.
Well, Anthony, I'll tell you what, we're going to certainly find out, and you can hit the sub button for the IMF. Please support them. You can support them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You know we'll be having a lot more coverage of this in the coming weeks. And you know Omen Black is going to be coming back to his platform on his show. And he will certainly rebut almost everything you've said here tonight, Anthony. And I guess he's been very generous tonight of allowing you to speak uninterrupted, which is very unlike Omen Black, the boogeyman of the Midwest, the hardcore god, really unlike him. And the prophet did say, I think I did call him Reverend Solomon. So, yeah, well, we'll keep calling him Reverend Solomon. He is back, and he's returned for the first time in about 6 months, and that does add another element to this match. And like I said, Anthony, I hope for your sake, you have certainly been a prophet since you've come to the IMF. You've been a prophet on this platform with just about everything. And time will tell if you walk away with that IMF World Championship, which would be the first you've won in a long time. You haven't held the World Championship, I think, since the pandemic. I think it's been that long. I think it's been that long that you've been a world champion. We're going to find out. The irony, Anthony, Anthony, before I let you go, I think that's ironic for a minute. Everybody talks about Anthony Steele, right? Anthony Steele, that's what I do, and he's controversial, and he's always got a championship. But ironically enough, all those people that say that, they've been world champions once, twice, 3, 4 times before you've been. It's been a minute since you've been a world champion. I think that's ironic, by the way, for people to say that's rich of them, don't you think? And you've got an opportunity to be on top, and to be on top now of the IMF. Look at what the IMF has become, right? You and I, right? 2.5 years ago, I'll throw him in, James Taylor. 2.5 years ago, we were talking about the IMF, right? From the beginnings. The IMF had been around before, no question. They have done an amazing job. Everybody deserves credit from the locker room. Obviously, everybody that's there, you all have done it. You've put the work in, and you have done everything to be where you are. But look at the IMF when you came there to look at where it is today. And you have an opportunity, Anthony. To me, this is the one world championship in your career that would matter. Anything else you've won don't even matter. You've got that opportunity here coming up September the 27th. And I have no doubt that we're going to be talking a lot about it. Let me get to a few more thoughts. I see Soldier and Jack Delta are going back and forth, but I would agree with Soldier. I wouldn't mind seeing Jack Delta back in the ring and maybe in the IMF. Who knows? I would love to see that. He hasn't been in the IMF. You weren't in the IMF, and look at where you are, and who knows? Soldier may not want to talk about that. That is a good point. Who knows? But no more talking. Thank God, no more of Steele's BS. Well, we're going to end the show soon because Steele is a busy man. And don't you dare respect me by calling Steele a prophet. Well, you've been pretty much a prophet the whole year you've been in the IMF and your time on this platform. I mean, we'll see if you're going to be rather a Nostradamus here coming up. And the sirens are going off because they know Anthony Steele could very well be getting his hands on the IMF World Championship. And have you bought a worry stone, by the way? And where's Dakota, by the way? Dakota should be here tonight. You tried to put a hex on Dakota being here, but I hear she's watching this too. So shout out to Dakota as well. And who else we got here before we sign off? Count your days, Soldier. I've never been gone this long. Understand this is the last thing you'll wish for. Well, I would like to see Jack Delta back in the ring. And I agree with Soldier. I would like to see him back in the ring. And hello, Ox, Mr. Crowley, my extended IMF family. I've yet to visit, so who knows? And I like the cut of your gym, Mr. Delta. That's funny. And I hope Ox McCoy recovers nicely from his shoulder. I'm just saying. You may not. But, all right. Do you have anything else you want to get off your chest here before we sign off tonight?
I'm going to save the rest for when me and Omen go face-to-face.
You know that's going to happen here. It's going to happen probably on 1 or 2 occasions, at least between now and the 27th. But Anthony Steele.
Save it for the one.
What?
I will make a promise. You will not see me on Sportswire Radio until that show.
Well, we got a month. I mean, so do you think that James Taylor will be on more venues until that next appearance?
Probably. He ain't got shit left to do.
No, that's why you got to tune in tomorrow. He's got something to say. It's a big deal. Okay. You know you'll be tuning into your old friend, but I'll leave that at that. And by the way, Ox is going to address his shoulder at Ring of Champions. So that's a good reason why I'm going to be supporting Ring of Champions. I hope you would agree about that. I'm definitely supporting Ring of Champions coming up. I'm supporting the show. I'm sure you'll be there, and you'll be very happy that I'll be donating a ticket. And thank you again for the gift, and I'm glad that she gave Jordan Crowley some worry stones. That may help him even further in commentary, because they got the best commentary team in IMF. What Dirty and Jordan are doing is the best. Okay. Any closing thoughts here tonight before we sign off? I'll give you the floor. I pass the baton to you, and take it away.
Everybody, get ready to see what I've been saying for the past couple months. It's time for a change, and I'm going to usher in that change. And there's nothing that Jordan, Myers, Nets, Jones, Storm, or the Reverend can do about it.
Solomon, last name Solomon.
Because, Omen, it's just me and you. See you soon, buddy.
And you want Smokey to count that 3, right? You want Smokey to be the ref? Because you got history with Smokey. You got history with him, by the way. Just saying. Got a lot of history with him. I'm just saying. But, yeah, I would love to see Jack Delta, by the way, perform in front of a live crowd. I think Jack Delta being in front of, what, we have 150 people last show, right? About 150. I would love to see that, because the IMF shows, they're very exciting. And we thank the IMF for all of their support. We want to thank the proprietor of the company and wish him a happy belated birthday. And your birthday is coming up, but not just yet. And I would love to see Jack Delta wrestling. And he about to go get a victory royale. Okay, you have a worry stone as well. You also are in the Hall of Fame again. And I would love to show up at a show. And can I use the James Taylor phrase, never say never? Can I use it for this one?
Do what you got to do.
I'm going to say never say never. That's a possibility. Well, first, though, Anthony, your appearance, by the way, is very influential and monumental, because you're in the Hall of Fame again for being less controversial. And I hope this won't be your last appearance, because I'm going to get a tooth implant on Wednesday. And, people are telling me that it might go wrong and, I'll never show up here. But I'm going to give the baton to you, Anthony. If something happens on Wednesday, and for whatever reason, I can't speak anymore. Now, I know the Prophet would be very happy about that. I know he would be, a very happy man about that. But if something happens to me on Wednesday, I have put it in my will, in my beneficiary, that you will take over on Sportzwire. All right, Anthony? I think that you're the man to do it. I know it's Omen's platform, but in my will, I want Anthony Steele to take over on Sportzwire. If something happens to me with the tooth implant on Wednesday and, I can't talk anymore, all right? Is that okay with you, Anthony? You could take over?
That's fine.
Okay. Anthony, you're going to be rooting for me now to maybe have something go wrong on Wednesday? If you want, that's okay. I wouldn't blame you. There's a lot of people that
we
would
like
probably
you on here, Tom.
It's okay. The Prophet doesn't, so I want to make the Prophet happy for a change. But thank you, everybody. Have a great night. This was Anthony Steele, who I think is still maybe he is the most controversial figure in wrestling history again, because he showed some ways that he is. But maybe what's most controversial is he's going to win the IMF World Championship on September 27th at Ring of Champions. Who knows? But in the meantime, stay tuned. Thank you, everybody. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, sub to the IMF, sub to us. And, I want to see Jack Delta and Soldier wrestle one more time. But I also want to see Anthony Steele and Jack Delta wrestle. But most importantly, September 27th, Anthony Steele, Omen Black, IMF World Championship. We'll talk more about it soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.